I was a flight attendant with a major airline, and we had gone over to Hawaii, and coincidentally that we were able to be invited to the concert for that evening, and Aloha in Hawaii. And so we attended the concert. Oh, he was in his white jumpsuit, and of course with the huge red Hawaiian lei. It was striking. The stage was outstanding, and of course the atmosphere, being in the Hawaii atmosphere and the little bit of indoor type feeling. The songs, everything was wonderful, and everybody wanted, what's the next one? What's the next one? And you could have heard a pin drop. It was outstanding. And of course all of his old ones that everybody loved, and some from his previous movies. It was the greatest concert I'd been to. And we thought it was quite exciting, not knowing that he was going to be on our airplane coming back the next day. So when we went to check in and had our briefing, that was the first time we found out that he was returning that next day. Well, being that he had such a large staff that traveled with him, I mean, we had 14 seats up in the 747 up front, and his whole crew practically took, the whole right side. And then, of course, he reserved upstairs for the lounge upstairs, so he had that reserved and private for himself, too. I was working in the forward lounge, and so, of course, taking care of first class as well as parts of the first class and the lounge area. And I remember one of the guys came up to me and asked me if I'd like to come up and meet Elvis, and I said, certainly, I would love to. And because I sort of wanted to just stay away a little bit and give him his privacy, of course, what he deserved and all. So I said, certainly. So he said, well, come on, I'll take you up. Went upstairs, because they had the upstairs of the 747, the lounge up there, as well as first class. And was able to meet him. I was introduced to him and got to shake his hand and said, I'll never wash my hand for the next year or whatever. So that was quite exciting. But it was just a great group that he was traveling with, and we just had a great time and able to just communicate and talk, and couldn't stop looking at his eyes. They were gorgeous. And I remember seeing his necklace, and it was the lightning bolt with the diamond on it that says taking care of business. And I thought, oh, those were so great. And he told me that they were a limited edition that he had given his guys, and it just meant a very sincere thing to them. That, number one, it was from Elvis, but number two, the meaning behind it. There was one other situation on the airplane that was really adorable. There was a little girl in the back, and she must have been about 10 years old. And we had the curtains closed going up to first class, but she was just bound and determined, number one, to see Elvis, or number two, to just take something that belonged to him, I guess. But she came through the curtains, and she went up to where his seat was, and his jacket was hanging over the back, and she pulled the button off his jacket, and that was going to be her souvenir. And so we tried to catch her, we tried to keep her away, but she was just bound and determined to get something that belonged to Elvis. So she walked away with her little button, and she was pleased as punch. He wasn't any different. I mean, he was just so warm and friendly, and thank yous, and may I, and he was a Southern gentleman. I mean, you could really tell that he was a Southern gentleman and raised by a great family, just because he was just so warm and friendly and polite and wonderful.